So I just finished WandaVision and I wanted to give my quick little thoughts on it. Overall, it was a good show. I enjoyed it. I think one of the things I did have a bit of a problem was the sudden retconning. I'm trying not to give too many spoilers, but it's kind of hard to talk about the show without spoiling anything. Hundreds of websites that have probably already spoiled everything for everyone. But for those that haven't, I'm going to give you the courtesy that I didn't receive. So there are some things that they did change in the show as far as the continuity of Marvel. As I said before, they changed Wanda's power to be based more on the comics than on the movies. Because as far as the movies were concerned, the only abilities she had were hypnosis and guess a form of telekinesis almost, but it was more kinetic energy manipulation, kind of closer to Gambit. What gets under my skin is there are parts in the show where like they have the characters interacting, not Wanda and Vision, but two other characters interacting. One of them offhandedly said, "Oh, she could have beaten Thanos if she wanted to." I'm like, but why didn't she? I mean, realistically, after that line that everyone has seen, the "you took everything from me, I don't even know who you are," she would have if she could. So, I don't know. Also, the concept of grief is pretty well made in the show. Obviously, they're not going to go like 100% with it, but the way they did it was actually in a pretty decent way. There are parts where you find out what's going on as the time progresses. Throughout the show, you're going to keep questioning a lot of stuff. The best thing that I've learned is when it comes to a show that establishes a mystery, allow the showrunners to just lay out the foundation, then go at it. Otherwise, you're going to get a Doctor Who situation where you're going to have better theories than the actual writers do. I think that it was an enjoyable show. I felt like a lot of behind the scenes things that I had heard was originally this was supposed to be a movie, but they decided to split it into a series, which is a better call because the pacing of this would have never worked as a movie. It is too emotional to draw a Marvel audience who needs action, because if you try to do just pure drama, a Marvel audience isn't gonna, well, what about Infinity War and Endgame? There was a lot of action sequences. Don't act like it was just a pure non-stop drama. It was a lot of action spliced in with drama. If you did this into a movie, it would have never worked. So it actually did work really well the way they did it. I like how they referenced other sitcoms, but it wasn't completely heavy-handed, so it was more like an homage. Obviously, Elizabeth Olsen stole the show. I mean, it's called WandaVision. But I was actually really more surprised to see Paul Bettany doing his kind of comedic acting chops, because I think he's pretty funny. He's got the timing and pacing pretty down, and his very deadpan delivery gave me a lot of old vaudevillian feels, which is a good compliment. To be honest, I'm not really a big fan of retcons generally. For those of you who don't know what retcon is, it means retroactive continuity. What that means is essentially you'll have the pacing and the continuity of one thing, and then when a new writer takes over, they throw it in the garbage and do something different with it. Sometimes it works, sometimes you get The Last Jedi. It worked really well in this, in the way they established it, but there were a lot of parts that also didn't make sense. Like all retcons, there's always going to be some big plot holes. I did like that they kind of delve more into Wanda's past. They go more into a little bit more of her growing up. I would have legitimately loved to see Aaron Taylor Johnson come back. For those that don't know, that's the guy who played the original Quicksilver in Age of Ultron. But I like what they did with it. There's a lot of great moments in it that just kind of got me a little giggly. But that's more of kind of feeding off of the nostalgia. And usually that's kind of lazy, but it worked really well in this show. So overall, I would recommend watching WandaVision. Just marathon it. Each episode's about maybe 35 minutes. The last two, I think, are about 45. So overall, you could get it done in a day. I am curious what they're going to do with Loki, because it feels like they're building bigger things. I am kind of interested to see Falcon and Winter Soldier, more to do with what they're going to do with it. Because out of all of the standalone MCU movies, my favorite was Captain America Winter Soldier. So I'm curious what they're going to do with it. I'll probably check it out later once it's completely done. Like I said, I hate watching episode by episode unless it's a show I'm already invested in. Well, what did you think of WandaVision? Did you check it out? Are you gonna check it out? Let me know in the comments down below. Please no spoilers. And as always, I'll see you next time.